Hello everyone, welcome back to the 343 Football Podcast. I'm joined today with Dowd.
Hello.
And Dan.
Hello.
And obviously myself, Ali. So, Dan, how are you doing? Long time no see.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Happy to be here.
It's the first time we've got Dan on the podcast.
Dan was also known as the King of Glasgow. So, let's see how he's going to represent the filthy Scottish. So, your team Rangers.
Yes,
they're
big
doing
Rangers
pretty well.
fan.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well.
Oh yeah, top of the league, flying high.
How are you feeling about it since it's been crap for the last 10 years?
I mean, thanks for bringing that up.
It's okay.
It's been a long time coming, to be honest. You know, having supported them all the way through, you know, going down to the bottom division and all the way up. It's so good to finally see some success. You know, it's a club that's used to success and that's going for the 55 titles this season.
Do you think you'll win it?
I mean, it's looking good so far. Celtic are in all sorts of disarray. We're looking strong. We haven't lost a domestic match. You know, obviously we had that blip in the League Cup, which is a wee shame. But, you know, how we're doing in Europe and the league is the main thing. You know, we won't care about the League Cup if we're lifting up that League Cup and the title at the end of the season.
Look, that trophy matters really. You know, I could imagine that hurting you Rangers fans there.
Yeah, so the trust is in Gerrard then to pull through and see it through.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the board have backed him like mad. You know, they've invested a lot in the squad. And he's a man that just exudes confidence. You know, if you ever listen to a kind of post-match interview with him, you know, he always says the right things. Very statesman-like. He's been there, he's done it. He's won Champions League.
Like he's got a plan, and he's gonna get the plan done and over. He's gonna get this over. I mean, you guys are 16 points ahead of Celtic. Yeah, with Celtic with 3 games in hand. But you guys haven't lost in the league yet this season.
No, not at all. And, you know, we're going into Old Firms confident. That wasn't the case maybe 2 seasons ago when we were getting spanked 5-1 by Celtic, left, right and centre. But, you know, we've got a game on the 2nd of January coming up, which I look forward to. And I don't think Celtic fans can be saying that at all with how frail they are in defence.
Do you think partly, obviously you guys are buoyant with the where you are in the league, and also with some of the performances you guys have had and some of your players, the way they are playing. But, you know, in my experience, the Old Firm derby is always about the atmosphere, the crowds that come in, and it's a whole day experience. I remember especially when the Tyneside derby with the Mackhams and in Newcastle. It's I remember my friends telling me like, so we've planned the whole day out and this is what we're going to do, and I can imagine it's the same thing. However, there's going to be no fans there, and I think that's a big shame, obviously. But I feel like that's going to play more in the Rangers' hands this time, and Celtic will probably be wanting to have some fans to try and push them to get even like a 1-0 win or something.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, I think if you look at that Celtic squad, it's a squad that's been there for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And there's a big Scottish core to that squad. You know, you've got your Browns and McGregors and Griffiths. You know, really big kind of real Celtic fans. And you know, Rangers has that contingent as well. But the way that Gerrard's built his squad, there's a strong English contingent. So perhaps you know, they don't get it as much as say, you know, your Scott Browns, etc. So I think. And the pressure is so unique, you know, like Tav, he's bounced around, you know, English Championship and stuff. Like he's not going to have experienced the Old Firms or that intensity before he obviously has moved to Rangers. So I think.
Do you not think that plays more into Celtic's hands, where the Scottish core that they've got, you know, it means a lot more to them than it does to the Rangers players, and. A lot of these derbies I see is how much the players want it, and if one side wants it more, and you can usually see it by the expressions, the way that they play, how much effort they're putting in. That usually is a tipping point for who's going to win the derby.
Yeah, for sure. But one thing which I have noticed this season, obviously the fans not being here, it's obviously played in the Rangers' hands a lot more. If you go to majority of the Old Firm derbies before obviously COVID-19 hit, Celtic were spanking Rangers They were Tottenham City for the last 10 years. Obviously, Rangers had their own issues going through administration. Obviously, having Mike Ashley on them, I do feel sorry for Rangers fans in that sense. So, but I think if fans were there, I think it might be a different challenge. Do you not think that?
I mean, I think the intensity is massive for an Old Firm, and I think like being up from Glasgow, you realise the magnitude of it. I think if you're not from that area, you think, it's just Scottish fun and games, but it really divides a city. It divides you from when you're really young, and I know, like they've reduced the ticket allocations. I don't know if you've realised as well. Like obviously before COVID, so there's even less of the away teams in, like fans in.
Yeah.
But I think you don't need to be riled up for an Old Firm. You know the significance.
Yeah. I know that. I've been to an Old Firm derby. I was holy shit, what have I got myself into? It was crazy. I've been to Old Firm derby last year. Rangers did win that, but when I think of the Old Firm derby, it's two Scottish giants. Some people might not show that respect, but if you're a real football fan, the way I see it is, what Old Firm derby is about, and arguably that's probably the most intense game in the UK period. That's my opinion. What do you think, Dowd?
Yeah, possibly. I feel like the English derbies now are not as fierce as they used to be. Look at the Man City, Man United, one man. They were pretty much kissing and hugging at the end.
Yeah.
We're hardly trying. No
passion.
No passion. Roy Keane obviously said 2 yellow cards, and don't get us wrong, rather than nobody gets injured and stuff. But yeah, possibly. I mean,
Roy Keane's off his trolley, but let's be honest. Come on.
Newcastle Sunderland haven't played for ages. I'm trying to think of
the Merseyside derby has a bit of spice to it sometimes.
But they call that the friendly derby, though, don't they? Like they sit together, like
in
an Old Firm. You're not having that.
Shall I tell you what's strange about that? Merseyside derby's got the most sending off since the Premier League era.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? And they call it the friendly derby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nottingham Forest and Notts County can be a bit rowdy. Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United.
Yeah, that's a bit rowdy actually.
It's a bit of a past. So I'm trying to think but in terms of what you see and I don't know, the memes that come out of it, I think it's more the Old Firm derby, isn't it? At the moment, yes. But I'd say the Tyneside derby is definitely to a point where it's a lot more fierce. Probably not as violent.
Yeah.
Obviously, the violence aspect of it.
You see, the way I see it is Newcastle and Sunderland, it was a bit political, like a couple of 100 years ago with King George in charge. But you're talking about religion here. It's a lot more sensitive. And obviously, Dan being a Rangers fan will obviously know more about this.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I would say that the religion part plays less of a role now, but it's still definitely there. Like if you go to a Catholic school in Glasgow, you're almost certainly going to be a Celtic fan. If you go to a more Protestant school in Glasgow, you're going to more likely be a Rangers fan. And there's the Northern Ireland versus Republic of Ireland thing. Rangers fans, you'll see UK flags singing "God Save the Queen." At Celtic Park, you have Irish flags everywhere. Showing their support for the IRA. Some contingents of the fan base there.
Yeah, of course.
So that's more of a dividing factor, I would say.
Yeah, one thing I did notice is obviously when the two teams were found, obviously I did an article on this almost a year ago now. What I did find out was the Celtic fans obviously had more, what can I say, more passion into it. Rangers fans at the early times were a bit grumpy. The Irish are coming into our city of Glasgow, and they were getting quite upset over that.
Do you mean they had more of a point to prove in terms of actually establishing themselves? Obviously,
Rangers is the older club and the more successful club, but Celtic don't have a chip on their shoulder, but Rangers do for some reason. It's very strange.
Yeah. I would.
Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah. I agree with you 100% there. Like, I think it's that kind of siege mentality. If it was founded by predominantly Irish immigrants. So if you're new in a place and you feel like you're getting got at, or you're in the minority and people are having to go at you, you're going to have more of that everyone's against us kind of mentality, and I think that kind of sticks with Celtic fans. As a Rangers fan, it's always perplexed me, how can you be born, brought up in Glasgow and then you identify with Ireland? Like it's a mystery to me. I mean, obviously not the whole fan base is like that, but I agree that there is that kind of chip on the shoulder.
I want to discuss, obviously, Rangers doing well in Europe. Obviously, we haven't seen that at all in a while. You know, it's been Celtic doing all right in the Champions League and coming to the Europa League, but obviously Celtic have a decline. But I want to get your opinion on what Rangers is doing right now. You know, and obviously I can't remember who they've drawn. You obviously know.
Royal Antwerp, which is one of the best draws we could have got, to be honest.
Sounds good. I thought actually in the next round you might get a Dowds Manchester United. You never know.
Oh, I would like that. A wee Battle of Britain, a bit of spice.
I think Gerrard would like that as well.
Oh, he would. He would, absolutely.
Obviously, you played against European giants Benfica, and you got 2 draws. Are you concerned since Slippy G did let that slip a few times?
I mean, you know, looking back, if you're to be super critical, you'd say, it would have been nice to have won those. We were in a position where we could have won both of those. But then if you pan back, you know, Benfica spent over 100 million in the transfer market in the summer. You know, so in terms of the financial gap between what we're able to do, it's huge.
Benfica spent 100 million. It was 100 million euros.
Over 100 million euros.
Still a lot of money.
That's a lot of coin.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, didn't they get Jan Vertonghen on a free and Otamendi as well or something?
Yeah. They got both of them. And then a few others from, you know, I'm not a Portuguese football expert, but they spent a fair bit of coin. You don't need to be a Portuguese football expert to understand 100 million euros, man.
Yeah. That's Chelsea money we're talking about. What the heck?
Yeah, and I think
Chelsea money.
It's where Gerrard's sort of coming into his special. Like, he knows Europe. You know, he's won the Champions League, and I think that's what's making the big difference with coaching this Rangers team. You know, is that he knows Europe. He knows how to play. He knows how to set up. He's played most of these teams himself.
For sure. Right. Is Gerrard going to slip in a game with Rangers? That's what we want to know, Dan.
I mean, you know, if you
will
look
he slip it? Will PTSD come back to him?
Absolutely not. But, you know, if you're to point to last season, Rangers were leading at the halfway point, came back after Christmas after that trip to Dubai, which has become infamous now. And then, you know, they've started declining.
Do you think they enjoyed the Dubai lifestyle too much?
Yeah, I think they thought they won the league too early, to be honest with you. They had a slender lead and they thought, oh, well, we're just going to canter to the title. Right. Obviously didn't happen. So
where do you think, how far can they go with the Europa League then?
Well, I think, you know, amongst Rangers fans, we are quietly confident that, you know, we can at least get to the quarterfinals like we did last year. You know, we have a better squad than we did last year, and we got to the quarterfinals last year. You know, and we are seeded this time. You know, last year we would finish second in the group, which made a difference. Course.
And you had Bayer Leverkusen last year as well, which obviously wouldn't have helped.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, Kai Havertz and all the rest, you know, they're a far better team than we were.
I'll be honest with you, if you come up against Arsenal in the round of 16, round of 8...
Oh, I fancy it. I fancy us beating them. Like
I could see that happening. I can't see Rangers doing one over Manchester United, or even though I'm not a big fan of Manchester United. They're like my little brother, really. That's the way I see Manchester United. You know, I'll pet them. I'll tell them, you know what, it's okay. I love you sometimes. You know, I love Manchester United like it's my bitch. But, you know, I just can't see Rangers get one on Man United. That's the thing. Let's move on to the Euros. England, Scotland in the same group. Dan, how are you feeling? You know, Scotland are finally with the big boys.
Oh, I tell you what, I nearly lost my voice on the night that Mitrovic missed that penalty. Dave Marshall made the save and we got through to the Euros. You know, it was 98 the last time. I was 4 years old. You know, can't claim to remember it. Last time Scotland were in a major competition. And, you know, we throw up England, you know, that's a derby right there, you know, and that's anything can happen. Derby.
You know, Dad, what's your take on this international derby? That's what I can call it. Really,
I just think it's one of those games where we're just gonna get 3 points in the bag. To be honest with you,
you know what? I'd love that. I'd love that as someone from England.
We've got a really strong team, man. I'm not gonna lie. Right. Compared to Scotland's team, like they've got nothing really compared to us.
Okay.
We beat them in every single part of them.
Dad's shaking his head. He's not impressed.
I'm not having this.
Where do you think
let Dan go in?
You guys could get one over us? Apart from, well, I can't even say apart from. I can't think of anything.
Well, you know, I think you're right. The England team has lots of quality, almost too much quality. I think they're struggling to fit all the players in.
Oh, 100%.
And they're not gelling as a result. Since football's coming home, it didn't come home. Since that, it's not been as rosy. I mean, it's easy for England to coast through. They're qualifying. They've found the Nations League a bit tough, but I think they're a team that lacks identity at the moment. And is struggling to fit in all these players. Scotland is a team that is on the up. I'm not going to claim play for play we're better than England. We're absolutely not. But we've got players that are in form. You've got McTominay scoring doubles.
McSauce.
Yeah, exactly. Scott McSauce.
Yeah.
You've got McGinn in there, who's a quality player. Christie's good. Dykes has been a surprise one as well.
Yeah.
The Australian-born, Scottish granny type thing.
I get that.
That's how he gets.
The summer. Of
I'll tell you what, it
Australia
happens
to
in Republic of
Scotland.
Ireland a lot, though, doesn't it? Jack Grealish was one. Declan Rice was another.
Yeah, and McCarthy as well, Glasgow-born. McGeady, Glasgow-born.
Yeah.
Both played for Ireland as well.
Man, they were
we traitors.
both Celtic. aren't
Yeah,
they?
exactly. See, it's a disease.
Are they scum for you then? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's not forgivable. They could have had good careers with Scotland. but
Right.
turned it down.
Obviously, we know the quality England have is unbelievable, and Scotland do have a few leaders as well. If you look at Andy Robertson, you
Well,
have Kieran Tierney as well.
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
I
good.
never see Andy Robertson do that well for Scotland, personally.
It's hard to do well when you have to rely on other players as well. You need to remember that. Scotland's back line isn't the best. Yeah, they have Tierney and they have Robertson.
Liam
But-
Cooper.
Yeah, Liam Cooper is a bit old, let's be honest.
Yeah.
He's quite old.
He's been playing pretty decent football for the last couple of years.
Yeah,
He has, but
decent.
that's a different style. How Scotland plays basic counter-attacking football. That's the way I can see it. Credit Scotland's coach. Obviously, he was a coach at West Brom. Did all right at West Brom, and he's got the famous John Carver as his assistant as well.
Oh my goodness!
Is Carver bringing it back to Scotland?
I couldn't believe it when I saw that. To be honest, it's all about Stevie Clark. But when I saw Carver, his interviews were legendary when he was Newcastle manager. For sure.
Carver bring anything to Scotland, or is he just there to put the cones out?
I mean, I think all the focus is on Stevie Clark. I mean, I'm not in depth enough to say what his influence. It's not an obvious influence. I would say he seems more of the man manager, and Stevie Clark is the brains. And Steve Clark's teams, all the teams that he's managed, have never played beautiful football. They're not about flair.
Yeah.
But they're hard to beat. And Scotland are hardly shipping any goals at the moment, and we're managing to nick a couple at the other end. And so I think that being tough to beat gives us any chance in a tournament, and especially playing against England, we're always up for it. I think on the English side, they try and play it down a wee bit. They say, "Oh, Scotland, they're small. Oh, they're pub team." But you see when as soon as they pass that white line, they care, and they care a lot. They don't want us to beat them.
If it was a different manager with a different philosophy, I just see him as just one of those managers that are just a standard, just an old...
Steve Clark, you talk about, yeah?
Stephen Clark, yeah. Steve Clark,
Okay.
sorry. He's just one of those old managers that just plays the way that football was played, 20 years ago. Nothing much has changed.
Right, I'm going
The
to say something
philosophy
controversial
hasn't
here.
changed that much. And like you said, the nick it, it's not convincing wins
Right.
sometimes.
I'll say something controversial. I think Steve Clark has got a lot more experience than Southgate does, and I think if you talk about a pound for coach, I think Clark is better than Southgate in my opinion. He's done well at West Brom. When he went to the other side of the border, I think he coached St Mirren, is it correct?
Kilmarnock, and he got them into Europe. They were fighting
you hear
relegation
that?
for years.
Getting Kilmarnock, man, that's so far up north. Dal hasn't even heard of them.
Yeah, I know
Man.
Kilmarnock, man.
You know what I mean? Like Kilmarnock.
Yeah,
Man.
and people forget he was assistant at Chelsea under Mourinho,
Yeah, of
and he was
course.
assistant at Liverpool. So he's got a reasonable football CV
Yeah, he
behind
was
him.
assistant. Was it behind Kenny Dalglish? I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Dalglish brought Clark in at the time, and Rodgers told him to bugger off, and he went to West Brom, and then obviously Rodgers' debut was against West Brom, and Clark done him inside out, and West Brom beat Liverpool 3-0. I remember that game clearly for that reason. But
I disagree, because I think you guys are looking at Gareth Southgate and his experimenting last 2 years. He's experimented loads. The way he's put the lineup out, what types of players he's put, he hasn't put nowhere near our strongest lineup yet. Even against Belgium, the Nations League match, it wasn't the strongest lineup, and it was the weirdest setup. I don't think he cares at the moment, particularly how England are playing in the matches that don't mean too much, really. And with how they've set up and the players that they're playing, they're still getting results. They're still getting very, very good results. I just feel like he's holding it back. He has an idea of how England are going to play. Like you said, the amount of players that they do have, and the variation of how they play for their club teams and stuff like that for him is the biggest puzzle that he needs to fix, and who to play. And that's what all he's been doing. Personally, for me, what I've seen is just experimenting. He's just experimented for the last 2 years, and now when he actually comes to it, I feel like he knows what to do and how to get the best out of the players. He's got a phenomenal lineup. Even half the players that might not be playing regularly, the class, they'll bring something else to the team.
At what point does he start sticking then, is my question. Because you can experiment for days, but if you don't have anything solid to come into a major tournament, that's not a good place to be in.
Well, this is the thing. He's experimenting for these tournaments where he knows which players gel with who and how. In my opinion, that's what he's trying to do. I don't even know which goalkeeper he's going to pick. If he's going to pick Pickford.
Hopefully not Pickford, man.
Nick Pope is really good. Dean Henderson, Yeah. Okay, so let's.
Man, out of those three, I'd pick Henderson or Pope. Man, Muslim guy figured it out pick for some reason. What's going on?
But even the right backs and full backs, is he going to play a back three? Is he going to have wing backs? All these things, because the England team, the England selection can account for all that. So for me, he's been looking at how England are playing and what the players are good at and how he can get the best out of them. He's even got Jude Bellingham into the team. Do you know what I mean?
But Bellingham's going to be a quality player in the future. He's obviously bringing him into the setup, of course. That's what he's trying to do.
He could be a Theo Walcott and just sit on the bench. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For when he came on the scene last time. This is the thing. We've got a lot of good forwards, and this is what I'm really excited about. Harry Kane, complete forward, the best complete forward in the world at the moment.
Don't make me laugh, man.
This guy,
look, come on, you can't say that.
This guy is a workhorse. He can dribble, he can shoot, he can head, he can defend, he can tackle.
So you think pound for pound, Kane's better than Lewandowski?
Okay.
Pound for pound, I think a 33-year-old Luis Suarez is better than Harry Kane, man.
Sorry,
come on, what are you playing at?
Second best. Luis Suarez is not as good as Harry Kane, in my opinion.
Man, your opinion sucks.
Right, I think Harry Kane in a different team would be absolutely next level. It's like Haaland. Haaland is playing absolutely immense.
Right, talk about Haaland. The scariest thing is he's younger.
He's young. Oh, so is Harry Kane. He's not that old.
He's like 27 when you're
27, man. He's in his prime.
But he should be delivering. Luis Suarez, his prime was hitting like amazing figures, like Messi, Ronaldo figigures.
1 season, mate.
2 seasons. Get it right.
I don't know, like
2 seasons, wonder. Get it right.
But Raheem Sterling, Jack Grealish, Marcus Rashford.
Don't talk about Raheem Sterling.
Phil Foden, Jadon Sancho.
I think Greenwood needs to be part of the conversation as well. Like he's
the most
exciting.
Finisher. Yeah,
I'll tell you what. Put some respect on that guy's name, man. He's just like the Icelandic women.
Well, yeah. But then I don't know. You said you support Chelsea. I used to be a big fan of Tammy Abraham. I don't think he'll come into. Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
He's in with a shout. Like he should be in the squad.
What about Danny Ings?
Danny Ings as well. He's playing class. This is why I'm saying. Just honestly, Scotland are just another 3 points in the back.
No.
Okay. Can I put this point across? Last time England-Scotland played, England had Harry Kane and they had Raheem Sterling, they had Daniel Sturridge, they had Jordan Henderson, Jack Wilshere. They had every damn good player 3-4 years ago. You know what Scotland did? Got Lee Griffith on a set piece, whipped it twice in a corner. Happy days, brought it back to 2-2. And it looked like England were going to lose that game.
Yeah, it was one good clearance away from being a 2-1 win to Scotland that day. And I think England have a stacked squad, which is good if you're a career. Like if you're playing a season, but it's almost too much choice for England, I would argue. Scotland, it's a country of 5 million. We don't have that. That's why we're picking people who have Scottish grannies from elsewhere. But because of that, it means like we have to use the players that we have and really develop them. Whereas it seems like England, it's like a different 20 players every single game.
I think Southgate's going to struggle with obviously the starting lineup. Is he going to put Alexander-Arnold? Is he going to play Reece James? Is he going to play Trippier? Is he going to play Kyle Walker? Is he going to be a back three with Kyle Walker and Alexander-Arnold playing a wing back? Is he going to play Henderson and Dyer? Is he going to play Henderson or Declan Rice? There's different things obviously Southgate can do, but I don't think he's capable of actually picking the best squad. I can see him fucking up.
This is the experiment I'm telling you about. This is the thing that
I don't think this is an experiment. I just think he's going to fuck up at the Euros and he's going to get sacked.
The variation of people that he's played, he's probably...
Man, you've seen the variation of players I've played on FIFA.
No. The variations that he in terms of who he's brought on and how he's playing them. He's even had Calvin Phillips playing for a while, and he had Conor Cody playing and seeing how he's doing.
He's all like if you look at England,
he's all right.
No, he is a good player.
He's good for Wolves.
No, he's great at passing the ball. He's great at defending. That's what Gareth Southgate needs. If you look at the other centre backs, they're not as good as Cody, I think, in my opinion.
Ball, yeah.
You're joking me. Kyle Walker could play anywhere.
Kyle Walker's a fullback and he gives a lot of penalties away.
The guy's possessed, mate. Have you not seen it? He literally offers everything. He's been playing as a... He's been playing in the back three for Man City.
Man, you're
Harry Maguire,
so much
Michael
right
Keane, better than him. Eric Dyer at the moment is better than him.
Right, okay.
Tyrone Mings, oh my God, Tyrone Mings. He plays class for England.
I'll tell you.
He plays class for
England. I'll tell you only two players I'd probably say which are better than Cody there. Dyer, because Mourinho shaped him into a stone cold defender, not stone cold Steve Austin.
All right,
stone cold Dyer.
I just feel like the way Eric Dyer has moulded himself is not for his defensive abilities, is that he was already a bit of a ball playing centre defensive mid, and he's because of his attributes and his physical stature, he can play in that centre back.
He played at first at Sporting, you see, and now Mourinho's obviously he's got a Portuguese connection with him. He's like, you know what, I could speak to Eric Dyer in Portuguese.
Oh yeah, I've seen the Amazon Prime documentary.
It's shown on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So I just think Harry Maguire is not going to bring anything to the actual England
I'd rather
team.
have him than Joe Gomez.
I'm not talking about Gomez though. Gomez is injured. He's out for the season, so why are we even talking about that guy?
I don't want Joe Gomez.
Man, I think you want Joe Gomez in so many different ways.
I just feel like he's so suspect. He's so sus.
I feel like about Maguire. He got sent off in his last England game.
Yeah, but he was having a bit of a bad spell. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Mykonos and it need we say.
Look, Harry Maguire's whole career is a bad spell. Let's be honest. 80 million quid, and people were saying Van Dijk for 75 mil was bad. Man, that's just daylight robbery. That getting.
I mean, I don't know.
For 75
I don't know if he's had a bad. He played very well for Leicester. Played very well for Hull. He's turning it around. Yeah, because at Leicester
you had Ben Chilwell next to him. At Hull, you had the greatest Scottish player, Andy Robinson, next to him. That's why. Put some respect on Robinson's name as well.
So what are fullbacks got to do with how good he defends?
Right, when you're defended as a back four when you're as defensive as Hull, Robinson actually contributed a lot more than Maguire did. I'll tell you that. With one-on-one defending. Maguire gets turned inside out all the time, man. Man, he gets spun around like a washing machine.
I don't know, I've seen him offer more than just that. He brought for Leicester especially a very...
Look, I think your love for Manchester United is coming in way too much. Just it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay, well, let's move on.
Let's move on. Prediction.
So prediction.
What's the prediction going to be?
I think England 2-0.
Oh, Dan.
I'll go for a sneaky 1-0. Let's.
For Scotland.
Yeah,
smash and grab.
Of course, yeah, smash and grab.
Right.
Lee Griffiths free kick.
Right, what I'll be saying is, my missus is obviously Scottish, so I don't read that day. We're not going to see each other. I'm like, you know what? Stay away from me. You're my fucking enemy for the day.
That's wise. Is this like Troops and his whole family supporting Spurs?
That's so funny.
Geordie Troops right here.
Yeah, that's actually funny. Troops of the family. So that's hilarious.
Mad.
No, but in all fairness, the prediction's going to be from my end. I think it's going to be 1-1, and then in the 92nd minute of injury time. Robertson whipping it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Missing everyone completely. Raheem Sterling down a wing, whips it into Harry Kane and scores a winner. England 2-1.
2-1.
I was getting excited with that, but you've just I'm not having that.
All right. I think we'll.
I think it's be a tight game, but I think England might nick it just because they've had experience in tournaments. If you see how England Wales played out last time, logically speaking, you know that was a tough game as well in Euro 2016, and then at the end, I think it was like the 87th minute or something, Daniel Sturridge just pulled out a worldie of a goal, and obviously England bagged the 3 points.
Yeah, I like to think of ourselves a bit better than Wales. Though. I mean, do have Gareth Bale, I get that, but I think
but we've got Andy Robertson. Who needs Gareth Bale when you got Robertson?
Robson can't, no, man. He's class for him.
Man, you know you got the new Carlos. That's what he is. Let's be honest.
New Carlos.
You know, the Scottish brought football to Brazil as well. So you know.
Yeah, we inspired them.
Yeah,
we left our style
you know
there.
Maybe Carlos was inspired by the future Robertson. Maybe, you never know.
Could be.
Right. Going into obviously the final segment, we'll be going to transfers again. Previously,
so we're just catching up from yesterday.
Yeah. Previously we covered. It was 20th to 15th. Obviously, roasted Arsenal a bit, but you know, nobody cares.
Was it? Oh yeah, 20th to 15th. Yeah,
nobody
but the last
cares
6,
about Arsenal today. Let's be honest.
Well, we'll go up to so we'll finish the bottom 10. So let's go in order then. Let's see.
Do you want to start off? Leeds?
Is it Leeds? 14th place, Leeds with 17 points. So yeah, I thought for Leeds, Brandon Williams.
He looks like a rat, you know.
That's a good shout.
I've rated Brandon Williams. You know, he bought his dad a car after his first professional contract. Proper, you know. I rate him. He's a good lad.
Is he one of the lads you just meet down on a weekly basis and go to Salford? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the way Brandon Williams plays football, he's a very, very attacking individual with high energy, and that suits Leeds.
Yeah.
Personally, if the way Leeds play. Constantly attacking, and he drives forward a lot. Brandon Williams, he in terms of defensively, whenever I've seen him, I thought he was pretty good, quite solid to be honest.
Yeah,
with you.
definitely.
He's had a few man of the match performances while playing, but this season he just can't get into the team.
Yeah, obviously you've got Telles and Shaw. You know, it's going to be quite hard.
I'd rather not have Shaw personally, but yeah, Telles is playing absolute class. That guy can whip the ball in.
Is he whipping an A in it? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who do you?
Well, obviously, thinking of the previous game Leeds had with Manchester United, man, they got touched up like an iPad. You know, it was crazy.
Whose iPad? Yours?
I don't have an iPad. Maybe yours.
I don't want to see your history either.
I don't think anyone wants to see that history of mine, do they? I was thinking Eriksen because they were playing Rodrigo as a creative player for some reason, and I just
Christian Eriksen.
Yeah. You obviously he's suggesting for Arsenal. I think Leeds can get him on a loan, maybe an option to buy.
Yeah,
you know that might suit Leeds a lot more than it would suit Arsenal. I think Leeds need a bit more of that creativity, so then they could play a 3-5-2, have a flat 3, and have Rodrigo and Bamford up front, and obviously try and get that in so-called number 10 position for Eriksen to fill in.
I could see it, yeah.
And obviously you have Calvin Phillips obviously behind him with...
Partly why I thought Brandon Williams is because obviously Leeds leave a lot of space.
No, it's a good shout. It's a really good shout.
Yeah, so you can start covering those spaces and running
back. Of course.
Yeah, I think Leeds as well, they need players that really play with the heart on their sleeve. That's the kind of Bielsa style. It's like leave everything on the pitch. And I think Brandon Williams is that type of guy. You know, he's a real Manchester lad.
But would he want to go to Leeds because he's born by Manchester? Like, look at those comebacks down the road. Yeah, I'm 62. I don't go to play on Ellen Road. I want to stay at Old Trafford. That might be his decision, but he might just do it as an on-loan thing. I personally can't see that happening because obviously he's Manchester born and bred. The people of Manchester know what it's like to obviously play for Manchester United. It's like between them.
Yeah, he is a local boy, isn't he? So,
but then again, if he starts getting the game time there and then he forces away into the Man U, you know, he can still be Man U focused while playing for Leeds, not because it wouldn't be loan for permanent.
How would you feel if a player from Rangers went on Celtic for loan?
I mean, that's a false equivalency because that's just not going to happen.
No.
That's not going to happen.
But obviously, Manchester United, Manchester and Leeds have the history of the Battle of the Roses and whatnot. I'm just putting out a different point. See, how would you feel about that if that's the case?
Yeah, well, in the Rangers Celtic scenario, that's obviously not happening. Like, it's rare that
you never know.
I mean, there have been transfers happen in the past, but we more rival each other in the transfer market rather than go for each other's teams.
Right.
Yeah.
I do have a suggestion for number 13, which is Crystal Palace. I suggested Ryan Kent from Rangers.
Ryan Kent.
Yeah.
Someone who's quite wavy, creative. With Max Meyer not performing as he should have when obviously he came from Schalke to Palace. They're lacking that creativity. Obviously, they've got players like Zaha and Townsend who create a lot of chances, but they need to be on the end of those chances because Benteke and Michy Batshuayi are not doing as well as they should.
Benteke is doing all right.
Man, Benteke wasn't playing against Liverpool.
Yep.
He was in the match day squad at all. It was not because of injury though.
Yeah, well, the previous match he's been doing all right.
Yeah, he's managed to score some goals.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Palace need that creativity. Yeah, they lost 7-0 against Liverpool, but if you have a lot more creativity there, I think it could exploit other teams.
Well, Palace, they've always relied heavily on Zaha.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is add a different dimension to that. Play like a 4-2-3-1, put Kent in the middle, or play Zaha in the middle and make him like a second striker. Have Kent on the left and Townsend on the right, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think as well, like, Zaha, it's public knowledge. Zaha doesn't want to be there forever. He's been looking for a bigger move for a while. So if you can bring in a player that can play alongside him
and replace him,
exactly. Kent's a young lad. I think he's only 23, 24 years old.
What's your suggestion in Dowd?
I was torn between Billy Gilmore from Chelsea on a loan, or Sigurdsson from Everton, because he's not Sigurdsson. I mean, he has been playing a little bit more at the moment, but it seemed like he was a bit isolated out of the team when Everton were up and buoyant at the beginning of the season. But I'm going to go with Billy Gilmore because I feel like Roy Hodgson could take him under his wing, and I feel like he's shown enough to actually even cement a place in the midfield. I feel like he mops up the mistakes in midfield for Crystal Palace at the moment. I feel like the middle transition for Crystal Palace is the thing that has been lacking for them in terms of either materialising an attack or stopping an attack the other way. And I feel like obviously if you've got no midfield, you don't have any core, and Billy Gilmore with his pace and energy can do that. So yeah.
Right, number 12 is obviously Newcastle United.
Yes, so I've got Aaron Moy. He was linked previously, and obviously he's got his trade in China.
His trade in China, I like that.
His trade in China. I don't know how. Well, I think from what I saw, he's playing all right there. I mean, to be fair, I think any Premier League player will probably shine there as one of their regular starter lineups, and probably even be up there with the stats. But I think in terms of how bad Newcastle's midfield is, there's a lot of things wrong with Newcastle. Yeah, and I'm thinking.
The owner first of all.
Eh?
The owner first of all. That's what's
wrong. The owner, obviously, everybody knows that. Let's talk about what they realistically could have.
Yeah.
And what they realistically could strengthen. And in this season, the midfield especially has been lacking. Yes, Newcastle rely a lot on ASM, Saint-Maximin, and the others aren't doing as well. Andy Carroll's hardly been playing. Callum Wilson's been all right. It like the others that are playing as well, they're not been that good, to be honest with you. And the defense, it's hot and cold all the time. Like sometimes, I think there was a period of time where last year where the defenders were pretty much scoring all the goals for Newcastle. Shaw, Lascelles, Lejeune were class for them.
Yeah, of course. I get where you're coming from, because I'm looking as a midfielder as well.
Yeah, it's a hot and cold thing with both the attack and both the defence. Mm-hmm. But the midfield, especially this year, has let them down. And I mean, yeah, I think Aaron Moy.
Right. My suggestion was obviously a so-called Xavi of England or the Iniesta of England, Jack Wilshere. Newcastle could get him on a free if they wanted. He has all the talent in the world. Obviously, he's probably lost a bit of pace, but he could pick a pass a lot better than John Joe Shelby can. And
I don't know, like.
no, I think he can.
John Joe Shelby, don't underrate him.
I don't underrate him. He played for Liverpool. I saw what he can do. Unfortunately, he couldn't get into a midfield which had Steve and Gerrard. He wanted to play that position at the time. He couldn't get in that Liverpool team.
No, he couldn't. But he's oozing talent at times, and he can pick out any pass he wants.
And he's not disciplined sometimes. I think.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
I think what Wilshere can do is he bring a little bit more experience, a little bit more creativity, and he'll keep on taking a game over with passes, which Newcastle might need sometimes, depending on which.
It's interesting you said about discipline, because Jack Wilshere notoriously is not very well disciplined.
Well, he's on the injury table half the time, isn't
That's
he?
the other issue you have. But if you get Jack Wilshere fit, I think he could do bits in Newcastle.
Yeah, well, he fits the profile of a Newcastle signing in terms of, cheap. Ex-England used to be good.
Man, if anyone at Newcastle is here and this is just hire me as a scout, I'll find you players for free.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll make the other team pay for the players.
I think they have a big transfer window ahead of them, though, Newcastle.
You know what Newcastle normally do is they bring players on loan. That's what they normally do. That's what they do every January. Last season, who did they bring in? The fella from Schalke. I can't remember his name now.
The fella
Stambouli.
No, is it Bentaleb?
Oh, yeah.
They brought Bentaleb.
Yeah.
They brought Gerrard Williams last season. These are all loan players. So I can actually see. I could see them actually bringing Jack Wilshere in, because that's what Newcastle would do.
I mean, you say that, but then we spent 40 million on Joe Linton.
Yeah, I don't know where that logic goes, man.
That's one of the worst signings
Man, he was tipped to be the next Firmino because he played for Hoffenheim. He was Brazilian. What the heck?
He did all right at Hoffenheim though, and he did well against Man City.
Right.
When
Okay.
they did play.
Let's move on to
the last one.
No, there's two more.
Is it?
Wolves and West Ham.
Oh no, West Ham were 10th, man. We're only talking about 4 because then that'd be the bottom 10.
Oh.
We'll leave that West
Sorry,
Ham.
guys.
Leave that West Ham for one for the next episode.
Okay. Who you got for Wolves then?
Wolves, it's hard because, it's like if you were a director of football there, you have to just basically press filter and then nationality Portuguese because that's
or Portuguese speaking.
It's true. It's like when Arsenal used to be all French.
Yeah. And it could be partly because the way that the manager interacts, and he feels like he can interact a lot better.
Yeah, of course. With
them.
Arsenal, you had Arsene Wenger, obviously, as a coach, so people wanted to play for the French coach at the time.
Yeah.
And logically speaking, it makes a lot more sense. But then with what's going on with Wolves and obviously George Mendes as the agent bringing these so-called Portuguese players.
This is the thing. So this is the second thing. It's like, then I would give Jorge. Is that is he? Sorry, he's Portuguese, isn't he?
George.
So it'll be with a J. So George Mendes, and be like, "You're right, mate. Who you got on your tabs, and who can you get? And you'll get some kind of superstar that you're thinking he's not on the market, but fucking hell, he can
Semedo. I mean, who saw that come in?
He's a class signing, I don't get how some certain people, Q, hopefully he's listening to this. He'd definitely be editing this. How he thinks he's not that good. I think he's class, and he played class for Barcelona. I understand, obviously, they needed to free up the wage bill for the week, and get a bit of a transfer fee for him. But yeah, they've been signing class players, and I'm always surprised. So I think it was a hard one, and I'm thinking, okay, let's change it up a bit. Ruben Neves isn't playing that great at the moment. And probably add a bit more physicality in the middle because Moutinho he's pretty old. So he's going to retire hopefully in a year or two. I don't know why I'm saying hopefully, but I love.
Hope he has a long and great career.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, sorry, Moutinho.
God loves you.
Oliver Neacham, the Celtic. Yeah,
Ncham, yeah.
Was it Neacham?
I mean,
Ncham
is what they say up in Scotland, but
quality midfielder from Celtic who's up performing right now. You mean?
Oh,
yeah.
I think you like it, didn't you, Dan?
Yeah.
He's class on FIFA. He's class on FM. He's
You're an FM wanker, aren't you?
He's
man, you love FM
he's
way
hot
too
and,
much.
he's hot and cold in real life. Overall, in my opinion, but I just feel like he'll bring just that extra, possibly the edge to get them into Europa League, 6th, 7th.
Yeah, I think he's got that kind of good blend of, he's got that physical, but he's got a bit of silk, being a Frenchman. I mean, I could even see him at Newcastle, to be honest. Maybe get him linking up with St Maximin, bit of a French connection going on.
I think everybody would love him.
Yeah. He's desperate for a move to the Prem. He doesn't want to be at Celtic anymore. That's clear by his performances and demeanour.
If you actually look who Celtic have produced, they've produced quality players and brought them on. Obviously, they're a selling club, i.e. you look at Van Dijk.
Yeah.
Van Dijk is a great example.
Yeah.
Van Dijk,
Dembele
is another one. And Fraser Foster obviously came from Newcastle, but he was made in Celtic.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. Anyways, getting back to the point of Wolves, someone to get in the transfer market. I went for one of the Avengers, Hulk.
Oh,
the Incredible.
The Incredible Hulk.
That guy's still relevant.
That guy is relevant.
He's
becoming a free in January the 1st.
He's always becoming a free somewhere, man. I swear. He's still class though.
No, but I can actually see him in the Premier League because Jimenez obviously is injured for the rest of the season. Obviously with his terrible injury.
Yeah.
So I can see.
Do you know if he's coming back anytime soon?
I don't know. I think he might be out for the rest of the season. Obviously, he has to take precaution.
No.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm assuming that's what Wolves would do, obviously, for his own health and safety. Is a fractured skull.
Yeah. It was horrible.
So get well soon, Jimenez, first of all.
Yeah, I love watching him play. He's class.
Yeah.
He's everything I would want in a striker for my team.
Yeah, fox in the box, isn't he? Just
fox
clinical.
That's really a very clinical. Good term, yeah. He's a proper fox in the box. I'm going to start using that more, But yeah.
That's why I'm thinking Hulk.
I can see that, but Hulk is not that tall,
He doesn't need to be tall. He can just need to be powerful.
What about the headers?
Man,
you're taking away that from the team.
Look, 5'5" Maradona could get headers in. 5'7" Messi can headers in. That's not an issue. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I mean,
you got Traore whipping those crosses in. Eventually, they're going to land on Hulk's head. Hulk's going to go banging in it.
Yeah, but eventually, how many eventuallys do you need for it to be consistent? Do you know what I mean?
Man, doesn't matter.
Of course it matters.
No, it doesn't matter because Wolves only score.
If I'm not getting
except
the goals
against
that I
Liverpool,
need,
of course.
If I'm not getting the XG, do you know what I mean? If I'm not getting that conversion rate from shots,
XG, you talk about ex-girlfriends here, bro. What's going on, man?
If I'm not getting that, then there's no point. And I feel like Wolves, the way that they've got the setup, the stats, the stuff like this makes a very big difference in their recruitment.
I don't think it's going to be a long-term signing. It might just be January to the summer till he finds another club.
I tell you what, though, left wing. What if they brought in Morelos? I think he could work a bit that South American connection, a bit physical.
Man, he's going to be a
bit physical.
In the league.
Physical. That guy is Speedy Gonzalez.
Man, that guy is an MMA fighter. The way he just elbows and headbutts everyone.
He's a proper street fighter, isn't he?
I'll tell you who he reminds me of. Obviously, not in a good way. He reminds me of El Hadji Diouf. The way he acts. He has a bit of a resemblance to him.
Yeah, or I think Diego Costa. He's got that kind of nasty side to him.
Yeah, Luis Suarez is my favourite player.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't bite people. He's got standards.
Actually, someone Jefferson Lerma from Bournemouth, is breaking news today, is banned from biting a player against Sheffield Wednesday. Did you know that?
Oh, he bit a
player.
Yeah.
No way. How bad was it? Suarez?
I don't know. I didn't know. I just checked on BBC News earlier today. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Are they related?
I don't. Funny bastard.
Long lost brothers, I think, probably.
Man, look, like.
If that goes to assault, do you think he'll be like, oh, so where did it start? And then,
Luis Suarez.
I saw Luis Suarez. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that guy's,
Just I don't understand, Lerma just getting banned, just biting people, he just likes to bite people, I guess.
Mad lad.
Right, I guess that's a wrap. Dan, it's great having you on.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Pleasure.
We'll probably have you on in the future, we need the odd Scott here to bring some diversity to the podcast.
Yeah, to these English voices.
Do you want to obviously tell everyone where they can find us on social media?
So you can, as usual, the Dressing Room YouTube channel, the Dressing Room 9 for Instagram, TD Room 9 for Twitter, and obviously you can find the 343 Football Podcast on all major all major Spotify, all major podcast streaming platforms. So yeah, thank you.
Adios, you filthy animals.